we are living in very unusual times at the moment. I wanted to start off by asking you, what have been your reflections of the impact that this pandemic has had on our country?
I can't tell you how much I sympathise with the way everybody has had to endure this unbelievably testing and challenging time. And I know that so many people have had the agony of losing, their loved ones, and the bewilderment and anxiety that surrounds everything. And so it is the most awful aspect of a pandemic like this. And yet we've seen at the same time people being quite remarkable, and wonderful people in the National Health Service and all the other key workers who've kept everything going.
What do you think it has taught us about our priorities? What really matters in life at the moment?
We have to put nature back at the centre of everything we do, and put it at the centre of our economy, which is, before this, nature's just been pushed to the peripheries. We've exploited and dug up and cut down everything as if there was no tomorrow, if it didn't matter. The problem is, of course, it does matter, as some people have been trying to say for a long time, that the more we erode the natural world, the more we destroy what's called biodiversity, which is the immense diversity of life, plant life, tree life, everything else, marine life, the more we expose ourselves to this kind of danger. And we've had these other disasters, with SARS and Ebola and goodness knows what else. All of these things are related to the loss of biodiversity. They're called zoonotic diseases, where you end up with these diseases being transferred from animals to humans if you erode the natural world. So we have to find a way this time to put nature back at the centre, and that is the way in which, if we live in greater harmony, we can find a much more sensible form of economy.
It's fascinating what you say there, because I know that we've spoken in the past about your concerns that if we don't act now, we are going to see more natural disasters. But you're also saying there that we could see more pandemics like this?
Well, this is what so many of the scientists who understand these things have been trying to say for a long time. And it's one of the reasons I tried to get the point across that we should have been treating the planet as if it was a patient long ago. So no self-respecting doctor would ever have let the situation, if the planet is a patient, reach this stage before making an intervention. Hence, the precautionary principle, which seems to me absolutely essential.
What do you think are the key priorities, the key themes that we really need to be looking at in a post-COVID world?
Well, first of all, we need to work at how do we create the kind of recovery that benefits people, helps to get people back to work again, provides real employment around the world. And that can be done, of course, by prioritising certain things that haven't been prioritised before, which is to recognise the damage being done by CO2.
It seems like a very long time ago, but in January you launched the Sustainable Markets Council. A lot has changed since then. Is it now time to rip up the rule book, or are you still feeling confident that that could be a good basis for a global economic model going forward?
Yes, I think it can. I've been, as I think I said before, I've been absolutely amazed by, the transformation that's taken place in the last year or two in terms of the financial services sector and the capital markets sector suddenly taking an interest in sustainable investment opportunities.
Do you appreciate that there is a fear that maybe this crisis has made individuals less receptive to sort of visions of change? Many people are still at home. They'll be watching this thinking, well, I'm still concerned. My family could get ill. I'm concerned that I don't necessarily know whether I'm going to have a job going forward. What would you say about that?
The most important thing, obviously, is to make sure the economy can function again, and that people's livelihoods and their businesses and everything else and employment is possible. All these things are going to have to be incremental anyway, but the point is that in order to avoid even worse situations in the future and more disease. And we have to find a way to ensure that within the next 10 years, because otherwise we will lose this battle against accelerating climate change and global warming. Because if we go on like this, with temperatures rising inexorably, then the whole of life becomes increasingly impossible.
How much will you be pushing for global leaders to step up now and come together at what is a time when actually many countries could feel disjointed and be quite inward-looking as they try and fix their own economies? I
haven't exactly been wasting my time during this lockdown, if you know what I mean. So I've been, in connection with all sorts of people. I've had the opportunity to do a lot using this technology. I have been communicating with a lot of people around the world on these issues. It's only catastrophes which concentrate the mind, which means that for once there might be some real impetus to tackle all these things which have been pushed to one side, because everybody said, oh, it's irrelevant. For instance, you could never get the G20 to concentrate very much on agriculture, forestry or fisheries, because it wasn't considered very sexy. But these are crucial things.
This globally has affected everybody, and it's affected everybody in very personal ways. For example, you had the virus yourself. How much did that motivate you to look at what can be done next and where we go forward?
Yes, it makes me even more determined to push and shove and shout and prod, if you see what I mean, and whatever I can do behind the scenes sometimes. But yes, I mean, I suppose it did partly. I mean, I was lucky in my case, and got away with it quite lightly. But I've had it, and I can so understand what other people have gone through, and I feel particularly for those, for instance, who've lost their loved ones, but were unable to be with them at the time. That's, to me, the most ghastly thing. But in order to prevent this happening to so many more people, this is why I'm so determined to find a way out of this.
People are just desperate to see their families, really, aren't they? It's a challenging time.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen my father for a long time. He's going to be 99 next week. And so, yes, all my grandchildren or anything. So I've been doing, well, the FaceTime is all very well.
How has that been for you, being disconnected from your family?
It's terribly sad, let alone one's friends. But, I mean, fortunately, at least you can speak to them on telephones and occasionally do this sort of thing. But it isn't the same, is it? You really want to give people a hug every now and then.
It's been absolutely fascinating talking to you. Thank you very much for taking time. And hopefully we will all meet up again in the ways that we usually do. So thank you very much, sir.
I do hope so. Anyway,
Thank you.
Thank you, Rhiannon. Thank you.